We just did episode 12, so this is still going to be episode 13 no matter what we say.
That still comes next.
Impromptu episode
13. Episode 13.
Insulin resistance.
It's the next episode.
It's a weak spike.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm right here, and I'm definitely hearing it, and I feel like it was strong, very strong.
Thank you.
Yes, it was excellent.
I think I got the word.
Oh, it was good.
Welcome back to the Regular Dad podcast.
Hello.
If you joined us for our last episode, that was the regular Dad. But we had other information that we wanted to share, so we're going to do a little. It's not really part two. It's just we're part two with our special guest, Dr. Kimberly Page,
Thank you.
and again in front of our live studio audience, the Page family. Sans the dogs, but really,
people.
I mean, they could have come in here.
Would have been interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this episode, we're going to focus on insulin resistance. Yeah, we could. But that is something that's getting a whole lot more buzz.
Hear it all
and
the
of course,
time.
I'm not a medical person by any stretch of the imagination, but the soaring popularity of the semaglutide. And
Those shots.
Right. And so I'm a partaker of those. We did say on the last episode that HIPAA stuff for me is out the window. Dr. Page is my doctor. And she has brought me back from the brink of extinction. And so
We're so glad for that.
yes, we some of us are. Others are like, dang.
Glad you're invented. I'm glad you're still
Right.
here.
So-
Got lots to go.
So anyway, to that end, some people, will have questions.
Yeah.
Fill them in. What are the questions you're getting? What are the things that we need to know?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just like to give a shout out to grocery pickup because that has
Absolutely.
saved my life many times. You said your life has been saved by other things. For me, because when I go to the grocery store and go inside these days, we
Right.
live in a wonderful rural community. I love it. I love my patients. I love it so much. But if I want to go to the grocery store quickly, that's just not happening. But
Because
since
you know everybody.
I do, but since these shots have come out, my grocery store time will double.
Right,
Because I will
yeah.
get stopped by somebody asking me to put them on those shots. And, where can they get them? And there's some issue with them. And because they're just so wildly popular and
Yeah.
effective. And it's just remarkable the difference that they've made in people's lives. It's really a revolution in medicine. So wanted to talk about what is insulin resistance. What is this enemy that we're all trying to fight against,
Right.
and what are the weapons of our warfare, so to
Right,
speak?
yes, absolutely, yeah.
And up to and including those shots. So
Yes.
insulin resistance, the way that I like to explain it, it's not completely perfect. I'm not going to draw biochemistry diagrams and cells and all this kind of stuff, and we can get into that if you want to. But the way that I like to explain stuff is the way that it's easiest for me to just think about it. So
Okay.
that's the way I do it. So I have to use my hands.
Hey, absolutely, we can do that.
When we eat stuff and put it in our bodies with that has carbs in it, so
Okay.
even healthy stuff, bread, rice, potatoes, pasta, then of
Right.
course sugar, fruit, things like that. It
Where
raises.
does bourbon fit in there? It's carbs.
So there's plenty of carbs in there too.
Natural
Alcohol
starches.
burns into one place, but yeah, definitely. And some alcohol has more straight sugars
So
than others. But
Natural starches like blue agave and some
So-
lime
yeah.
for a little.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
health food?
Why are we having some of that now? That would have been better.
That would have made the episode
That
a
I
lot more
could have
interesting. I'm
really.
going to tell you that.
I could have given you
Absolutely,
real
I'm
time
saying, wow.
commentary.
Yes.
So when we do that, if I were drinking a beverage of choice that
Yeah.
had blue agave in it right now,
Yeah.
that's like mainline sugar, by the way. There's a lot of that. That
Yeah.
would raise blood glucose levels.
Okay.
And then in somebody that has a normal functioning pancreas, meaning they're not type 1 diabetic,
Right?
which is when your pancreas doesn't work anymore, for most Americans and other people around the world, everybody else, lots and lots of people, your pancreas produces insulin, and your insulin comes out. And your body
Okay.
is supposed to soak up insulin, helps you absorb those sugars into your cells, your muscle cells, your fat cells, all of the cells of your body, gives you energy, you go do stuff.
Okay.
Glucose is fuel for doing all the things.
Because it goes into your bloodstream.
Yeah,
The-
and it
but it
goes
needs
into your
to come out.
cells, right? And then it goes into all these cool, amazing cellular processes. If you have insulin resistance, which many, many people do, we don't know for sure. We think it's at least 40% of Americans right now, but it's probably way higher than that. what happens is you eat stuff and your blood sugar goes up. That's a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
Your insulin level goes up, but there is a resistance. There's a blockade. So this insulin can't talk to these sugars, can't get into those cells. So what happens is your body says, oh my gosh, my sugar's high. I need more insulin. I need more insulin. My sugar's low. I got to fix this problem. I need more insulin. And eventually it'll overcome that blockade and resistance. For a lot of people, their blood sugars will come down to normal. But in the meantime, you've got all this extra insulin floating around that you don't need. And there's been some period of time where that sugar's high. A lot of people, they do not successfully get their blood sugars down to normal. That high sugar is still a problem. And it goes and does all kinds of other things too. And that leads to weight gain. That leads to your liver, and even your fat cells can still soak up that sugar in other ways. But it doesn't go to do good stuff and give you energy. It goes to storage.
Right.
Yeah. And then this extra insulin.
I'm familiar with the process.
So,
storage.
Hey, you have less and less storage all the time.
Well, you're right. Well,
you're doing fabulous things. Insulin causes increased risk for heart disease. It causes, and all this whole process causes fat to get stored in our liver, which is not normal. Fatty liver disease.
Oh, y'all took a look at my liver the other day.
So,
well, you didn't. You sent me to some
somebody
place.
else looked at your liver.
Some guy had an '87 Buick and at Kmart, and it jumped up in the back seat. He was like, "Here, give me $100."
That is a good way to save money on your copay.
Okay, well,
that's
worked.
for sure. So more tips on life advice here on the regular diet.
Absolutely. Do
Insulin,
not get in the back of an '87 Buick.
Yeah, with the guy who says he's here to do a medical test. So insulin levels being high also causes you to be tired all the time, and it makes you hungry. So here you are with all this insulin floating around that's not doing you any good, and it's just making you eat more stuff that's making this vicious cycle keep going.
Yeah.
And it didn't do anything. So if we can reduce this insulin resistance, your body just gets like more efficient with everything, and it makes you feel better, and it helps you lose weight, it helps you use the food for what it's originally intended.
Absolutely.
So what we want to do is make your body more sensitive to insulin, bring that resistance down. And that's kind of what we're trying to figure out right now. Like, why do some people have more problems than others with this? We know that you can't change your genetics. We get that. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, it's coming.
And we know that there are medications, we'll get to that in a second, that help with this. But there's a bunch of cool lifestyle stuff that works too.
Okay.
And some people, have tried all this. They're like, hey, I've done all this my whole life. It's not working. It's not fair. What's the deal? I'm working at it really, really hard. I'm just like beating my head against a wall.
Right.
And that's where medication really helps. But we still want to try to focus on making sure all those things are happening for everybody, even with or without medicine. And that is eating lots of produce, veggies mainly, some fruit, eating a lot of protein. Protein makes you feel good.
Yep.
Like it helps you build that lean muscle mass.
Yep.
And it keeps that fat from happening with the carbs and the glucose getting stored as fats in our body. So protein's our friend, veggies are our friend, and other things like movement. Regular exercise really helps also. We know this. Even when we're working out, your body's soaking up insulin. It makes that sound too if you listen really carefully.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But those things help. And then these medicines, there's several different kinds of medicines that focus specifically on that.
Okay.
And those shots are one of those. And it works really, really well. And I think it's going to be a real breakthrough. That's why we're seeing decreases in heart disease and fatty liver disease, but it also helps with weight loss. It helps tremendously with diabetes. It fixes this problem.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I like a lot of words. There's a lot of words
Well,
to explain the process, but I was trying to break it down.
I don't know how you can really shorten that. I mean, it is what it is. I could not interrupt you. That would help a ton. But
yeah, let's do that because I talked and now they're gonna get bored. But insulin, man, like it's kind of the root of all first world diseases right now.
Yeah,
too much of it. Too much of a good thing.
Right. So my grandmother, my dad's grandmother, was a type 1 diabetic.
Huh.
Dad.
It's a hard time to be like that.
It was, yeah. And she didn't manage it very well. By the time she passed away, I mean, she was falling apart. But Dad, he was type 2, and he would just kind of rode the edge. So, and then now he got, oddly enough, when he got sick, he had cancer. When he kind of lost weight and different things through with some of the treatment stuff, but all of his sugar stuff kind of normalized out.
Yeah.
So he didn't.
It does.
That was one thing that he quit taking.
If we can just magically make fat cells go away that you don't need, the insulin resistance comes down too. So it's this vicious cycle, right? You start gaining more fat cells and you become more insulin resistant so that you gain more fat cells.
Right.
But if you start to reverse the cycle in the other way, everything gets better together and it's probably much faster. So just like when you healthy eating, weight loss, exercise, and then you can start getting off more medicines, get better, all those things. They tend to kind of roll back the same way they rolled up. But
right.
I'm sorry that he went through all that, but I'm glad his sugars got better for sure.
Such is life. Now, we didn't talk about this or outline this beforehand, so I'm going to take this in another way, just since we're talking about men's health stuff and whatnot. But through the process, walking through, because I'm a type 2 diabetic. I remember when you called me on the phone, we're just a week shy of a year. And I remember that phone call, and I just felt my body go numb. Probably the insulin resistance, I don't know. But I was like, I mean, I couldn't even form a sentence. That was a really rough day. And then I was like, just get over yourself. So, but we were moving through that, and so I immediately felt a whole lot better than I ever had. Well, in recent memory. Right. I mean 2-3 years. And you said based on my numbers, it's very likely that's how long that had been going on.
Probably.
Yeah. So, and no, I wasn't going to the doctor regularly unless something was falling off, and.
Because you're a regular dad.
Because I'm a regular dad.
And that's
I ain't
pretty
got time
common.
for that crap.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but now I go all the time. I actually have an appointment tomorrow. So.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. So, but the other thing that I ran into and that has really it just revolutionized my life is that I had a nearly immeasurable testosterone score. So you remember, it was 139. Which is low, but we had to run 3 months. Then it was 119 or something, and then 99. And I was like, I'm falling apart.
Yeah.
So
testosterone is a big conversation for sure, but low testosterone is related to chronic illness as well. So diabetes, sleep apnea, inactivity, other medical conditions, all kinds of different things. I'm just saying in general, can contribute to low testosterone, and low testosterone could be a problem all by itself as well.
Sure.
So it's just those nutrition things and everything else I was talking about with insulin resistance. A lot of the times, as those things improve, hormone levels regulate as well. So testosterone's another hormone, and it happens to behave similarly. Now, sometimes other things get better, testosterone doesn't get better, and then we get to juice up.
So, yeah, and I have been juicing legally.
We do not say that in the doctor's office.
No, that's not don't go
not what the
juicing.
prescription says.
No. So, but interestingly enough, you can also get that from an 87 Buick, but you have to go to Lowe's.
That I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't.
Not that you know from personal experience, and not that we recommend that.
No, we do not recommend that. Don't go do that.
Yeah, that's true.
But so I got on that, but I got a CPAP for sleep apnea. So I'm sleeping well. I'm lifting weights, doing cardio stuff.
That's awesome.
4 and 5 days a week. I wasn't aware of how old I was until I started doing that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, stuff is creaking. I'm put WD-40 on my elbow, trying to,
We're
doing
the same
knees,
age, Ben.
right?
We're the same age.
Well, I think there's a little bit difference in the physiology going on. Okay, this isn't a wide-angle lens on this camera pointing at me.
I got different things going on too, but it's where we are. This aging's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but
Lord.
you're more active and more mobile than you've been in a while.
Absolutely.
And it's remarkable. It's investing in your own health, taking control of everything that you have some ownership over.
Yep.
Is something that a lot of people will never be able to do or stay consistent with.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable what you're doing.
So,
and that's
well,
not the story I
you.
get to hear. I
Yeah.
get to encourage a lot of people in this every day, and a very small percentage actually do it or stick with it.
Right.
And it makes all the difference. It's stronger than any medicine anybody will ever give you,
Yep.
and the payoff is decades long.
Yeah, how I feel now is compared to how I felt a year ago and even 4 months ago, is just shocking.
Yeah.
I
Even with
wish-
the creaking.
Well, even with the no, that's fine because I just tape up and just let's go for it. And it's me and the rest of the 70 and 80-year-old people in the morning.
I love it.
'Cause that's when I get to go, and they are my people.
Did I tell
now.
you I had one patient who would put on his oxygen that he had to wear and go work out on the treadmill at the gym, and
Now,
I was like, that's
some dedication
that's the athlete
right
that
there.
makes me want to never quit.
Now, I wish they had oxygen available.
I feel that.
Okay, because I was on this thing called the Satan Master Stairmaster.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
it's different.
Well, we
it's
can
different.
go pray for
Yeah, yes, but it might as well have been the Satan Master. And so here I am, doing my flights of stairs, and I'm like, good Lord.
Why won't you bring back the oxygen bar?
Oh
Remember
my
when those
gosh,
were trendy?
yes.
We could put those
Yeah.
at gyms. That's how we can fund the kids' college.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
great
that
idea.
was- that was some-
Somebody write that down.
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
right, yeah.
But you
Write it
don't
down.
know how crummy you feel until you start feeling better.
No, if there was a way, like here, take this pill, and this is what you would feel like.
Yeah, for like 20 minutes.
yeah.
Just feel better.
Yeah.
And be like, oh my gosh.
Now, it's only going to work this one time. The only way that it's ever
Yeah.
going to work again is you have to go do these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my gosh, if you could just make that comparison, feel that
Yeah.
difference, but.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're feeling better. And it's going to keep getting better.
Oh, yeah,
too.
absolutely, absolutely.
My favorite thing in the world is taking people off of medicine and crossing diagnoses off the list. And most of that comes because of lifestyle change. Medication can help you get to that point, can help a lot of things. So, even the GLP-1 class of medications, like these shots, the semaglutide, the closely related tirzepatide and such, they all work on insulin resistance, and a lot of people will take them for diabetes or for weight loss for a long time, some people for lifelong. They have an indication, they have a use for not everybody, but for some people. Now, their availability and cost and insurance coverage, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
but they are very useful. It's a real breakthrough in medicine. There are some people that will not ever need medication and a lot of people can overcome some degree of insulin resistance they have just with all the things you've been doing now. For some people, when they do that alone makes them better.
Yeah.
A lot of people need that and medication together for the long haul. Some people need both of those for a short term, and the medication can come off later on, or
Right.
some of the medication
Right.
can come off. So it's different for each person, and it's amazing that we're starting now to understand in medicine that how much different genetics, different bodies work. There is definitely not a one diet, one lifestyle change, one medication thing that's for each person. And
There you go.
we're really all different enough, and it makes the practice of medicine interesting for me to work with each person to figure out what their story needs and to partner
Absolutely.
with them on their journey for better health.
Absolutely. Well, and you've certainly partnered with mine. You've taken the pen away. I thought you were going to stab me with it once, and then started writing your own lines, and that's been really helpful. That's what I needed. But I would encourage anyone to walk through the same process, get established with a primary care physician, and now, if you're going to see a doctor regularly, you're family medicine, so that's a little bit different, but you can kind of address a wide array of things.
Yep.
So if you're looking for a doctor that might be where you might
Primary
start,
care.
yeah,
Yep.
the whole that primary care field. So, but anyway. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for humoring me on the curveball that we didn't
Yes,
prep you for.
I love it. Thanks for encouraging people to get a regular checkup.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Regular dads get regular checkups.
That's
And
it. That's
kind
it
of
right
regular colonoscopies.
there. Yeah. We'll keep working on that.
No.
Talk about it another time.
Y'all take care. We'll see you next time.